actually an interesting story because my therapist got me into burlesque. I moved to Atlanta about 8 years ago now, and my first 2 years were real rough because I was very lonely, and I got I would call it probably agoraphobic because my social anxiety got to a point where I couldn't make myself leave the house. And my therapist said, take a class. The Atlanta School of Burlesque was offering classes through, I don't know, Groupon or one of those things for 50% off. And so that is the class that I took. I'd gone to burlesque shows. In fact, I went to burlesque shows like even a decade before, when it was a troupe that would pay us to come in beer and food because they wanted an audience. But I hadn't been in probably a decade. So I came to class. Tallulah Love was my instructor. She was very warm and welcoming, and she invited us all to a show. I went to a show, then I went to more shows, and I went to more classes, and I was going to all the shows in town, probably quite literally all the shows that were happening in town, and taking classes all the time, but it was always, I could never do that. I could never be on stage. I am too shy to be on stage. I could never get myself on stage. And I just kept taking classes, and most of my classes were with Rula Roulette, who bullies you into loving yourself. Quite literally bullies you into loving yourself. She makes you go into the mirror and love yourself. And eventually I got to a point where I was like, I'm gonna do the performance track just so that I know that I can do this once. I wanna know that I can go on stage and do this once, and I have that confidence. And I did that. And I did a number that was about body positivity and shaking off the things that people say about you. And the audience cried a lot. And I realized that someone with a body like mine needs to be on the stage because there are people who also have bodies like mine that can't be. And it helps them by seeing that it is possible to get past it, to get past that I could never be on stage thing. And so I just kept doing it, and then it got fun. At some point it became fun. And then I was performing probably 2-3 times a week. I started producing my own shows. I joined a troupe. I did things, and now we're here. So my stage name, Oodles of Troodles, I came up with it because Troodles is actually a nickname that a friend of mine gave me many years ago. I have never been great at making friends because my mind plays sabotage on it with me and says, oh, they don't really like you, and then I have to fight against that. But I came home from work one day and my friend was cleaning my house for no reason. She was hanging out at the house with my roommate for the day, and she just decided that she wanted to clean my house for me. And while she was cleaning, she was singing, Troodles has poodles, and she puts her makeup in a Kaboodle, and she eats some buttered noodles, and it was the cutest thing. And it was the first time that I had this inkling of, oh wait, she really does like me. She likes me. And it was just kind of, it stuck. I mean, why wouldn't it stick? Troodles is very cute. Why wouldn't that nickname stick? And I made friends because I had this awakening, and I had a bunch of friends who were calling me Troodles, all through my 20s and even into my 30s. And so when I got into burlesque, I was like, that's a pretty cute name. I may as well bring it back because that brings good feelings to me. And then there is oodles of me. There is oodles of me, like oodles. There's lots of me. So I'm Oodles of Troodles.
Thanks for watching! Be sure to subscribe for more sweet Candybox content, and click the bell icon to get notified when we upload more vivacious videos. You can follow us on Instagram at Candybox Revue.